Okay, cool. So what we've got, so on the blog, you've obviously got everything here. So what you need to do, okay, there's also a PDF that has this information so you can have it in your iBooks. So if you haven't got the internet, you can, view it on iBooks anytime. So have you gone through all of this? And do you understand this, or are we still a little bit tricky here?
I understand it, but some bits I don't.
Okay, that's fine. All right, so let's go through it. So what we've got here is step one, you need to select an area. So you select a town. You've done that. Yes, excellent. Okay? Brilliant. All right. And then once you've got that, you need to actually draw a map. So here's, for instance, we'll show you with a finished one. So we're going to go right back to her first map here. So she's chosen Grampians. So she's drawn a section of the Grampians, okay? And then you need to do bolts. And do you remember what bolts is? Yep. So we've got, scale, location, we've got a legend here as well, she's got a title, all that kind of stuff. So you need to put that on your map. Okay, that's number one. So that's page one, all right? Step two is you need to draw a choropleth map of the area. So remember we talked about, you hear when we talked about a choropleth map? It's essentially colour, okay? And so what you're doing with the colour is it's showing a difference, it's showing a gradient. So again, what we've got here is they've used this choropleth to show the height. So Grace has gone, all right, so 200 to 400 metres is purple, and 400 to 600 metres is green. And so she's drawn that in there. So it's a visual way to see heights. So you look at that green and you go, all right, that's going to be 400 to 600 metres high. That purple is going to be 2 to 4. Okay, so this is a basic one with two colours. Yours might have a lot more. If you did, say, Mount Macedon, you might have a lot more colours because you're showing different heights. So that's your first step. You need to draw that. Okay? Now, how would you be able to draw or colour in this choropleth map of Woodend? Where would you find the heights? Yes, exactly. So once you get your map, and there's a video on the blog to show you how to get a contour line for any map. I will send you that link again. So once you know the contour lines, then you can do this colouring. Okay, so that's step two. Okay? Now, as we move down, all right, and we go to step three, now you need to do the contour lines. Okay, so now you're actually drawing the contour lines on there. Now, that's where we get one of these transparency. So you plonk it on there, and you're actually drawing the contour lines in. So if you did your research and looked at your map, you'd see those contour lines, and you draw them in on a separate bit. And now, if you've done that well, and you've done both sections well, they should line up, shouldn't they? Because contour lines are height, so that lines up. So that's step three, okay? Now, as we move down, step four is to do a topographic. And do you remember what topographic maps are?
Yeah, I think so.
They show detail. Yeah, like trees and rivers and all that kind of stuff. And that's going to be your third layer. Now, the tricky part is we're using transparency, which means you can only use black, okay? And so what that means is, you can't do a blue line for a river, or you can't do a green for trees. So what you need to do is you need to make symbols, okay? So for instance, this line with dots, that might mean it's a road. This line with these little bumps, that could mean it's a bush track. That could mean that's a train track, okay? But you decide what you want to do. So you look at your map of Woodend, and obviously Woodend's going to have a lot of forest. It's going to have some rivers, possibly. It might have some lakes. You decide. It's definitely going to have some suburban areas, some houses. So you need to draw that topographic map. Okay? And where would you get that information from, do you think? Yeah, from the first map that you got. The first map that you got that had the contour lines will show this. It'll have a green area for trees. It'll have maybe railway lines. So you choose those, and then you draw those on that layer. And then when you place it on top, now you can see you've got the contour lines. So we've got that one? Awesome. All right. Now if we go to step 5, this is where it gets a little bit trickier. Okay. Now you're doing a grid. Now we talked about 6-figure grids, didn't we? Okay. So what they are is you need to break up this map into a grid. Okay. These numbers don't really matter. They're for down the track. You can choose whatever you want as long as they're double digits, because that's what you need to have on a grid. Okay. And then you decide how you break that up. And there you go. There's your grid. Okay. Now why we've got that grid is for the next section, which is the questions. Okay, so that's your map. That's your map finished. Your map's done. Okay, it's perfect, ready to go. So that's that section. Now you go to the questions. Okay, so with the questions, you've got a couple of pages of questions. Okay, now they're all written down here. Now you should be able to answer all of these questions from using your own map that you've created. That's why it's important that you've done that correct, yeah? Cool. So question 1, for instance, is how do you think the choropleth helps to show the height of the land? And you know that, we just talked about that. So how does that help? I don't know, it's a visual way to easily see the height of a map. Without having to read contour lines, you can see it visually. You know, that could be your answer. Question 2, how do you think the... Oh, I just read question 2. Sorry, that was question 2. Question 1, sorry, was basically write a paragraph about your location. Okay, so you're talking about this location. So you might say, if I use Grayson's for instance, you might say the Grampians National Park is an area from about 200 to 600 metres in height. It contains rivers, forest, train tracks, bush paths, da-da-da-da-da. So you're saying that visually from the map, okay? You also have to put in the absolute and relative location. So remember we talked about those? So you would say the absolute location, Grampians National Park is 24.6 degrees south for, you know, the GPS locations. So you give it the exact. And relative, you could say the Grampians National Park is 100 metres from the Reefs National Park. I don't know, I made that up. But you can see how it's relative. Okay? So there are your questions there. So, and we've done question 2. Question 3, describe any contour patterns that your location displays and that can be from your contour lines. What contour interval did you decide on and why? So, why did you choose these contour lines? Why did you choose the interval between them? Okay, does that make sense? Excellent. Again, it'll probably make more sense when you read through the questions again. Question 4, when referring to topographics, what do northings and eastings mean? We talked about that in class, so you should be able to figure that one out. Just, again, go through the blog, we've talked about that. And question 5, using 6-figure grid references, provide the grid references for the 5 items you've selected. So what you're doing is, with your grid references there, you're choosing 6 spots. You make them up. So you choose 6 spots on your map, and then you're going to actually give me 6-figure grid references to those spots. So I can actually go, alright, so if I look at this example here, I go, alright, GR338477, that should be where number 1 is. Okay? And then that's it, you're done. Long day. You want it already? Does that kind of make sense? So, go to the blog, have a look through this, have a look through these questions. Do you mind if I put this video we just filmed up on the blog so you can watch it as well, and other people can watch it if they're stuck? Yeah? Maybe? Possibly? Alright. That way you can watch this back and you can see what's going on, and other people can watch it back if they're stuck. But they've all kind of finished, so they won't watch it. So it'll just be for you and the rest of the world. You'll be a star. But you can watch that back, read these questions as well, okay? And go to the blog, read what we've got there. Oh, there's also videos there of some other ones I've done and some other examples. There's also the examples for how to use Google Maps to find topographic maps, all that kind of stuff. Alright, so that'll all be there as well. So, are you confident, cool, you reckon you can do this? Awesome. So we'll set a new date and then I'll let you roll. Sound good? Done. Brilliant. Thank you.